everyone, and welcome back. So a lot of people are still coming out to condemn this international embarrassment Tinubu brought upon us, because up to now those children are still in prison. So I listened to a very dark man where he explained where these people kept those children. My people, hey, if you watch that video, you will weep. Why is this Tinubu government this wicked? Despite public outbursts about this evil act, and even the international bodies have already come out to condemn and also want Tinubu to release those children. Do you know that even those children that fainted, that they rushed to the hospital, do you know that they brought them back to the prison? My people, this is really, really sad. And this is the reason why Nigerians are kind of, giving up, knowing fully well that there's nothing they can do anymore, because we have seen some people coming out to tell us that it is only 5 to 10 people that will sit on a round table and then they will decide who is going to be your president. So where do you want to start solving the problem? Because you don't have the power. Where do you want to start? So that's why a lot of people are now giving up in Nigeria. Like, they are not even bothered about what is happening right now, because we all are victims. So anything can happen to anyone tomorrow. This is the sad reality. If they can do this to children, then imagine what they are doing to the innocent adults. So Nigerians are really, really giving up. Before I allow you guys to watch this particular video and hear what people are saying concerning charging underage children for treason in Nigeria, let me read out what Charlie Boy said. The reason why I am telling you guys that like 60% of Nigerians are giving up. They are not even bothered about all this nonsense that is happening, because we are kind of getting used to it. And this is really, really sad. So this is what an area father said. Northerners think they have the monopoly of sending their worst leaders to rule Nigeria. They gave us Buhari. Yoruba gave them Tinubu. Transaction successful. Failure to counter failure. In the next transaction, if they not like, let them give us Ganduje. No problem. The Southerners will reserve Uzodimma, Ikpeazu or Akpabio to reciprocate. Our shege pass Banza. Do me, I do you, man no go vex. So I think most of people are not even thinking about, how to bring good leaders anymore, because they know that, the system, the way they set Nigeria system is not possible, because there are these cabals that believe that they have the power to bring who is going to be Nigeria president. Okay, look at the 2027 election. Everyone is now warming up for 2027 election. When we are talking about electoral reform, that we need to, amend electoral reform. And these people, they are not talking about it too. Look at ANEC chairman that did what he did in 2023. That man is still working freely. Nothing happened to him. So even if time is not taken, he is even the one that going to conduct 2027 election. This to show you that Nigeria is not moving forward. Like, let's say it as it is, my people. Let me allow you guys to watch this particular video and hear what they said concerning charging underage children for treason in Nigeria.
Okay, so Kashmir, let's talk about this. I mean, what was your first reaction to this as a lawyer and a Nigerian citizen?
Well, the truth is that it was quite unfortunate that we found ourselves at this lowest point. I mean, I was taken aback seeing the way and manner they went about it. Okay, of a truth, under the law, there's nothing stopping the prosecuting agencies from arraigning or trying children, right? But the problem is the way and manner that they went about it. The next problem is what brought about, what led to this arraignment. I mean, because they protested, because that's the way the international community will see it, that's the way the human rights community will see it, and that's the way every reasonable man on the street will look at it, that these people were being prosecuted for participating in a protest.
Yeah, but now, the government is saying that they participated in this protest, but they flew Russian flags.
You see, that is where the issue is. I need us to separate the alleged action and the way and manner they went about it. You can do the right thing the wrong way. That's the simple truth. Like in this case, if the Nigerian police had recourse to the Child Rights Act, I'm not sure they would have done the things and the things they did and the way and manner in which they, carry them out.
What's the specific thing that is child rights?
Now, the Child Rights Act provides for child justice system. There are specific provisions. First and foremost, the consideration should have been the interest of those children and their well-being. Now, upon arrest, the law presupposes that after profiling them, what should come next should be to grant them their freedom. But if you think that there are compelling reasons why you should not, then you provide a government facility for them, not joining them or putting them in a cell or remanding them in prison custody.
All right, I'll ask you to hold on there. Let's listen to what the government's lawyer had to say, so that we'll now bring in Suleiman, the human rights person.
Adults. Most of them are married men. None of them is a minor. Some of them are university graduates. The small kids you are seeing here, they came with some of their parents to come and greet their loved ones. They are not even the real suspects standing trial in this case. These boys were arrested in Kaduna and Zaria. Imagine the level we find ourselves now. Do you know how much it costs us to be at this level of a democracy in this country? These young boys are trying to destabilize Nigeria using the Russian flags and other countries, calling on the military to remove our president. Is it fair to even remove the state governors that they don't want democracy again? If you don't like democracy, are we forcing you? You go back home and sit.
Well, that's the government prosecutor there, right there in court. And of course, you could see some of the lawyers behind him also having some good laugh while he was addressing the press there. But well, let's bring you in, Suleiman. What's your reaction to the government's position?
Well, thank you very much for having me on the program. I think it is evident, even from the video we've just watched, that this is laughable. I mean, this is nothing short of national and international disgrace. I would say that we should be ashamed ourselves at this stage in this country that we find ourselves in a situation whereby we arrested minors. Some of these children are under 13 years, some 14, some 15. Some of them, most of them are not up to 18 years. And the lawyer of the government is telling the world, at this point he's not telling Nigerians, he's telling the world that all of them are adults. Some of them are married, some of them are university graduates. But it is evident in the video, any reasonable person who sees this video, he knows that these are children that are under 15, 14, 13 years.
Yeah, but he said some of them actually came on a visit with their parents to see those who were being arraigned. I mean,
this is true.
But well, you could see the prison warden there actually taking some of them and all of that. So,
I mean, if our leaders should truly be serious about their intentionality about leadership and how to actually build a certain image for themselves and for the country. Because at this point, as a human rights activist, for example, living in a civil society space, we are always looking at it from the angle of the conventions that we have, nationally and internationally. We have child rights acts that speaks to the violations of these children. Nigeria have signed international conventions. Nigeria is a signatory to, for example, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Children, the UNICEF Convention on the Right of Children. We are all signatories to this. And for us now to be arguing that these are not children, while it is evident that these are children, minors, that are being maltreated, that are being violated, that are being abused, I think it doesn't speak very well of us as a country.
Before I come to Igwe, you actually saying, your organization, Sislak, in a statement released yesterday by your executive director, Awal Musa Rafsanjani, said, and I want to quote, that you're calling on First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu to intervene, urging her to see these young detainees as her own children. Well, the government has a different position, and the police are saying that, look, if you fly Russian flags, calling for a subversion, for a takeover of government, that you would have to face the wrath of the law. And the police is saying, I mean, from 7 to 13 or from 13 to 18 years, I mean, it doesn't really mean that you are not liable for your actions.
Absolutely. I think what we need to first ask is the question of why is the protest in the first place? There are a lot of issues that government refused deliberately or otherwise to address that led up to even the protest. Issues around poverty, issues around hunger, issues around unemployment, issues around lack of adequate healthcare facilities, issues around a lack of quality education, issues around poor infrastructure in the country. These are the things that led up toward the protest. And so these are the things that the government needs to be concerned about, not the reaction that they get from the people that are feeling the pain.
All right. Igwe, let me bring you in. Do you think that the First Lady should intervene? Because, I mean, this organization seems like it's saying that, look, let's treat this off the court and see how we can see this as our own kids. But the police is insisting, I mean, that these people engaged in subversive acts, irrespective of whether they are children or not.
You see, it's quite laughable listening to that address. I mean, that's an insult to the sensibility of Nigerians and the international community.
Well, he's a prosecutor.
Yes, and he also, you see, he must not speak to the press. Instead of coming to make caricature of the federal government by this address, he shouldn't have spoken to the press. There's no obligation on him to have spoken to the press. Because we can see these children, you don't need to carry them to any test to determine their age. And that is why I thank the Honorable Attorney General for stepping in. In fact, I was even taken aback when his statement came that he wasn't aware of these things.
Yeah,
so I don't know where there shouldn't be.
Yes,
I don't know where there shouldn't be.
The police have just gone into this for a very huge, important case.
For that address, you can see their overzealousness. I mean, they should have conferred with the Office of the Honorable Attorney General. The DPP should have given them a directive on how to proceed. Obviously, they don't really understand the laws, apart from the criminal code they are quoting and the police. And
but does the police need to contact the Attorney General's office on every issue?
See, this has caused Nigeria international embarrassment. It comes back to the Office of the Honorable Attorney General. I'm sure that is where he intervened, so that he can really scrutinize this. One, in criminal prosecution, two things are key. One, the actus reus and the mens rea. The intention must be there. It's not all about finding, I'm not their defense attorney and I'm not defending anything, but there are a lot of things that should have been cut off during investigation, especially when children are involved. That is why I'm talking about the provisions of the Child Rights Act. Okay? They ought to have separated the wheat from the chaff and all of those before they come out. The way and manner these children were handled is not right. And that is why I'm sure Sislak is calling on First Lady. Because now, as a mother, she will understand better the pains of the parents of these children, if at all. Okay. She will understand that this is not all about being legalistic or all about the law, but because they want to make a statement. It's a mixed feeling prosecution, and they know it. If they should leave this thing the way it is now, they may not go far. Yeah, they will embarrass the government. So I'm glad that the Honorable Attorney General has stepped in, and I believe he will do the needful in restoring and guaranteeing these children's fundamental rights, because they were not treated well. In all honesty, by the procedure they adopted, they were not treated. It's a clear violation of the Child Rights Act that is operational in Nigeria.
Okay, now let's talk about how some of these young people also said that they were misunderstood by the police and the Nigerian public, because some of them claim that what they were holding were actually the defense flag of Nigeria that stands behind the president and not the Russian flag. So that though some of them were calling for regime change and all of that, a regime change. But if you look at the flags that they are holding, they claim, some of them, that it looks the same with the one that the president is standing side by side. So could there have been a confusion? I mean, Let's go with you,
Well,
before
you see,
we break.
the truth is this. Anything and everything is possible. That's why we talk about intention. If you can't differentiate between the flag they have and the defense flag behind Mr. President, how do you proceed? Yes, I know that other meanings can be read into even the defense flag. But first and foremost, do these children appreciate the implication of that action? I was thinking that by now, police should have gone after those that are behind it, that were behind this.
Well,
because
they were
didn't-
following the juvenile. If you look at what the juvenile laws says, actually, it says, let me just read out this one. It says, children between the ages of 7 and 12 will only be held criminally responsible if it is established that they know that their acts or omissions are wrong in law. Quoting State versus Mwabuezi there. Could it be that when they were calling on Russia to come and, do take over power or whatever, help Nigeria out, that they didn't know what they were asking for?
You see, what you look at is this. These children as they are, at this point we can't conclude. It's only when they are proven guilty. But for now, they are presumed innocent.
Yeah.
So they can't be treated as though they've been convicted. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
The procedure for me was wrong.
Okay.
Should have given them that liberty to be presumed innocent, to be treated within the confines of the laws protecting them. If they had done that, they wouldn't have gone this far. Even as we are talking today, I'm not sure Nigerian police has even established the unit that they expected to have established under the child that should have handled this.
Okay, so let's hear from you, Suleiman. I mean, a lot of people were taken aback by how malnourished some of these people were, some of the kids are. So could it be that they were actually deprived of their rights to dignity while even in custody? How could we have these kids for over 90 days and it looks like they are not properly fed?
Yeah, of course, it is evident that everybody can see to this fact that these children were maltreated. They are not given enough food, enough rest, enough adequate healthcare, which are the fundamental and basic human rights that every human being needs to survive. Right? Whether you're poor or rich, you need
whether
food.
you're in custody or not.
Whether in custody or not, you need food, you need water, you need clothing, you need good environment to thrive. So this is only an exposure to the level of impunity and inhumanity that is in some of our leaders. And that characterizes how...
Is it about our leaders or the justice system?
It is about our
That's what
leaders.
people are saying.
It is about our leaders, because it is the leader who makes decisions that affects the justice system, right? It is the leader who makes the decisions and policies that affects the lives of everyone, including these children, right? So what I'm going to say is the fact that, we already called on the First Lady to look into these issues, to consider these children as her own. I'm very sure if these are her own children or the children of the president, nobody will be speaking about this by now. In fact,
well, they will tell you that
those people who arrested them, who
this.
even dared to arrest them, would have been fired by now or imprisoned already. So we want equal treatment of every Nigerian, that every Nigerian life matters. No matter how your social status, no matter your class, no matter you're rich or poor, we want equal treatment of every Nigerian. And
yeah, but the government is pointing to the law there, though the Attorney General says the case file should be, brought to him. And then he said that it will be brought to him today, and they will take a critical look at the issues. But the police is insisting that these people not only went on the streets, but they engage in brigandage, looting properties, destroying traffic lights, stealing so many things.
I think that is another different.
Yeah, so they are saying that shouldn't they be held liable for those actions?
That is, nobody's saying they shouldn't be held liable, right? But the charge of treason and terrorism, while in fact the real terrorists are in the bush, the government is not going after them. The government is going after children. That's what I'm talking about when I say international national embarrassment and disgrace. We should be ashamed of ourselves in this country, that we have people who are killing innocent citizens, kidnapping them, but we don't go after them. But our security agencies are happy to go after children, little children, to arrest them and to maltreat them, to refuse to feed them, to display them in the media internationally. The kind of treatment that these children had gone through is just a disgrace. So this all speaks to what we are saying, that had the government provided quality education, that even these children knows that raising another country's flag is an issue, right? Well, so there is no provision of quality education to make these children be patriotic enough to understand that, yeah, we must put our country first. We shouldn't raise another country's flag. So this is what we're talking about when we call on the government to provide quality education, good healthcare, good drinking water, good infrastructure, right? This is what we're talking about, and to ensure that we secure the country. And one last point, we are talking about laws in this country. This is a country that a federal lawmaker was threatening to make a citizen that he is supposed to protect disappear, and boldly proclaim that and nothing will happen. And believe me, nothing is going to happen.
Well, he was slammed a fine of 500,000
now, while children, little children are given 10 million.
Okay, let's bring in the lawyer in the house. I mean, how could a judge have actually, taken such a decision? What are the processes for taking such a decision?
Well, you see, that's why I made the statement I made before, and that is why I would recommend both to the Nigerian police and to the courts, sections 204 to 235 or 238 of Child Rights Act. If they read it, if they study it and understand it, you see that they will do things differently. In fact, they will regret most of their actions. Okay? For the police, what they are to do is to prosecute. I'm surprised that a prosecutor is turning to be a witness. They should save their testimonies till they get to court, because they have a lot of things to prove. And the standard is beyond every reasonable doubt. So there's no need jumping up and down at this stage, trying to prove to the world that they're actually guilty. In fact, that's on its own is an infringement, is a violation of the right of these children. Also, barefaced lie against things we can see.
Let me quote the police. In their statement, they said today, and that was yesterday, an unexpected incident in court saw 6 of the suspects suddenly rush out and faint, drawing media attention in a deliberate and scripted manner to draw negative attention. That statement was signed by ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, who is the spokesperson of the police.
This is also when you are trying to cover up tracks, you keep exposing, others. When they dropped, were they not taken to the clinic? Were they not attended to? What's the report from the clinic? Was it stage managed, even the doctors and nurses or the healthcare professionals?
I was even surprised because these people are looking malnourished.
We are seeing them. So which one was staged? Which one? Is it the way they are looking or the fact that they slumped? When you pack children, how many of them in the dock? Why wouldn't they slump? Why wouldn't they fall? Why wouldn't the hidden things begin to manifest? So instead of the Nigerian police to have shown empathy on these children, you are trying to justify what does not exist. I mean, it's pathetic, which is why I thank God that whatever the script was, the Honorable Attorney General has stepped in, and I believe,
you have a confidence in him
I have confidence that he will do the right thing. The world is watching.
Well, Suleiman, it's not only the Attorney General that is saying that the right thing will be done. Let me also read the same statement by the police. It says that the MPF acknowledges public interest in this case and assures the public that our officers will maintain professionalism throughout the legal process. Do you believe that the police can do justice in this case?
Well, we hope they do. That's just what I have to say. We hope they do, and we call on them to do justice. Right? Okay. But we call on...
What will be justice to you in this instance?
Justice to me is to understand that people are suffering. That is why they came out on the street to protest, to communicate their anger to the government. That shouldn't be a point of charge. That shouldn't be called to question. In fact, every human progress involves criticism and questioning, right? If we as a democratic society don't question the way and manner in which our government or our leaders, leaders in a country, or make decisions that negatively affect our lives, our everyday lives, then I think, if a government agency, especially the security agencies, are saying, no, you shouldn't do that, then you charge people who do that, small children, as those who are committing treason or terrorism. I think it's just laughable. So I think justice for me is to ensure that these children are released, they are returned safely back to their families, and the government should ensure that all gaps are addressed.
All right, as we try to custom Kashmir, let me talk about what the Attorney General has said in his statement. He says, it is not within my power to vary the order of the court remanding the defendants, but he will try to see how he will speak with the Director of Public Prosecution to see how the date can be brought forward. I mean, so that this case, instead of it happening in January, like the court said, maybe it could happen within this new month or maybe December or so that we could bring some sanity to the issue. Do you think that the justice system, I mean, the judges wouldn't see this as an interference by the executive?
No, it cannot be an interference. The Honorable Attorney General is the chief law officer. In fact, he can enter and only prosecute today, and that will be the end of that matter. So he has all the powers. It's not about interference.
The police wouldn't dispute him.
Why would they dispute him? It's within his constitutional mandate to do.
But they acted without his consent on this issue, which is a treasonable matter. Now, listen, I thought that because it's a treasonable matter, it must have been gone
for
through
advice of the DPP and all of those things. So, which is why I said I was shocked that the Honorable Attorney said he wasn't aware, which means there should be sanctions within the system. In all honesty,
there's no communication within the system.
Number two, there's need for training for all the actors involved so that they understand the dynamics. They treated these children as though they were adults. Number three, charging children with treason and all the other charges. I mean, if they had gone through what things should be, I'm not sure they'd have gone that far, because it's a very serious offense. Yeah. Now, you are telling the international community that we are training terrorists, even as children. And tomorrow, when certain things happen out there, we'll come back and suck and begin to dispute that we are being looked down. Our passport is not being honored out there and all of that, not knowing that these are things we are causing by ourselves. So
all right, gentlemen. I mean, just let him land quickly before you.
So I think government should please look inwards, do the right thing.
All right.
If people have right to ventilate their anger within the ambit of the law, let them not
including children,
include everybody. Yes, they have rights.
Okay.
They have rights, please, and it should be protected.
Okay, so I just want you to talk about this very quickly before we round off. Some people are beginning to say that, look, if these kids are not properly treated, like it happened with Mohammed Yusuf in 2009, and then Batim Boko Haram, that this could actually give the young kids some very bad ideas while in prison custody, and it could lead to them having a very different idea or view of Nigeria and making them want to take the laws into their hands against the state, making them to act as non-state actors, like we've seen bandits and all this guy. How could we do a win-win, reach a win-win situation in this instance?
This is a very interesting question. I was in a phone conversation with a friend of mine this evening before I came here. We were chatting with her. We were having a conversation on one of the social media platforms yesterday, and we were relating with about this issue. And she said that there was a boy in their own area that was caught. The boy was absolutely a very cool, calm, and collected boy. You understand? He behaves very well in the community. And he was arrested. And she asked, why was the boy arrested? Yeah, they say he involved himself in a protest. And the painful thing is that she told me that her brother was telling her that the boy used to call his friends from the prison, right, with the phone of somebody. And that somebody, upon inquiry, is one of the biggest gangsters in that community that was arrested and put in prison. Which means, what I'm saying is that, you bring these children who have zero experience on issues that relates to maybe violence or crimes, you bring them and put them in a place with other criminals.
Hardened criminals.
Yeah, with other hardened criminals, now they are going to learn how to even be the real criminals in the future. So the point is, we have to truly make good decisions that makes the lives of the children and even the lives of those children who are not affected, because there are children that have seen these images and videos, and it is going to affect them as well.
So my people, that is it. I hope you guys had everything they said in this particular video. Like that particular lawyer that said that he is the one representing Nigeria government, he's supposed to be very, very ashamed of himself. Even those people that are at his back, you can see that they're even making caricature of him because they know very well that he was lying. What a man. Very shameful act. What a shame. So as I bring this update, and I hope you had everything they said here. Please, I would love you guys to leave your thoughts in the comment section as always. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't and share the video. Give me a thumbs up so that YouTube will recommend this video to other people to watch. Thank you everyone for watching. I will see you guys in my next one. Goodbye for now.
Welcome to News TV. Call off it to sleep.